Hello, everybody. This is Frank with Iron Age News on the South Florida Conservative website. It is Tuesday, August 26, 9:10 a.m. And we're going to talk about burning the American flag because that's what everybody wants to do these days. Burn, baby, burn. In fact, so much so that the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, put together an executive order saying, do not do that. We will arrest you and fine you extremely. The problem is Donald J. Trump does not have the right to do that. As much as we all like to think about the good old days in the 60s where you could go out and crack some fucking skulls and get things done, the terrorists are basically protected by the law and they've known how to work it, which is why they always run their mouths the way they do. Under uh, a number of states, there were flag desecration laws that didn't allow you to do that. This was especially a big thing, and a law was put together during Vietnam. Abby Hoffman and other shitbags, he had a famous pair of pants that were made out of the American flag, meaning he was sitting on it, and that got him in some kind of trouble, made him more popular with his fans, blah, 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 blah. And that law was in effect, which was in 1968. But around 89, 90, there was a law. I mean, the law was repealed under Texas v. Johnson that burning the flag as political protest is protected free speech under the First Amendment. And then again, United States versus Eichmann in 1990, Congress tried again with the revised Federal Flag Protection Act, which was in 89 to 90. The court struck it down also, reaffirming the symbolic protest involving the flag is constitutionally protected. So since then, any of these laws has become unenforceable. So even though the president has put together this thing, it is it's going to be ruled unconstitutional. It's going to be ruled unenforceable. If somebody gets nabbed for it, they're going to flip out. But there is always a silver lining to this type of issue, and one that the radical left will always fall for over and over again. You don't go after and arrest them for flag burning. I'm burning my flag. I'm mad at my parents. I have to be back at Harvard by 7 o'clock. So I'm going to burn my flag in the middle of the street with all these people around. And I yell, it's protected speech, right? The expression itself, burning the flag to convey a political message, is constitutionally protected. You cannot punish me for burning a flag just because you don't like that I'm doing it. That protection does not override laws of general applicability for all you copsters out there, like local fire safety codes, open flames prohibited in public spaces. Is there a burn permit required? Things of that nature. Arson laws. If you burn somebody else's flag, if you take the flag down off the State Department building, as they've been known to do in federal buildings, and burn them, that is a law that you're breaking under arson. Public safety ordinances. If the act creates a hazard to others or blocks traffic. If I am half-assed enough to try to set fire to a flag with my little can of lighter fluid, as you always see them doing, or the lighter that they bought at the Stab and Go, and it puffs up and other people catch fire, I am in violation of public safety. So if somebody sets fire to a flag in the middle of a crowded street, the police cannot charge them with desecrating the flag, but they can charge them with violating fire ordinances, creating a public hazard, or disorderly contract. As long as those laws are enforced content neutral, meaning that the same thing would apply if someone burned a pile of trash or a mattress, you can get away with that. So police out there that say we're powerless, because there's always some cop that's going to tell you you can't do anything, right? But you as a citizen now know that this is the case. We are going to have a little PDF file that you can write down the 4 or 5 things. We also did our usual placard for a 5-year-old, so you can give that to your terrorist pals so that they also know what the law is. So it's kind of a balancing act. If they were to say we are going to, and this is where you would have seen it in the old days with like the American Nazi Party and stuff, they always got permits. They always did this, they always did that. And that way they were able to do events in areas that people did not want them to be in because they had applied for a permit. And if they were denied, then they'd have the suit about that, right? So you know that the left does not get permits. So if there is not that case, those of you who are on the police who say, I don't want to watch them burn the flag, but they're allowed to. No, they're not really. If you're in an area that does not allow open fires, open flames, burning of trash, burning of leaves, bang, boom, pop, you're in there. It's defensible. Go to your local law guy at your PBA or FOP and pull up whatever ordinance it is that covers those. Read it real quickly, put a copy in there on your wrist, and bang, you're in business. People will not see it coming. And you have to say to yourself, what does the federal government put on the value of the American flag for arson? I would say it is priceless. And then you have to argue from there. So don't fall into some of these things. I understand why the Trump administration is doing it. It's a signal. But more importantly, if they start to do this, it's going to cost the left money and lawyers and things like that, which the idea is now that the Trump administration has cut off a lot of the aid to the enemies of the United States. It's time to start to bleed them. And well, they should. So this is what we're talking about here. Also, those of you who do not like the Palestinian cause, who do not like the trans cause and stuff of that nature, maybe you don't like the Queen of Navarre, and you decide that you want to burn her flag in protest. You would go somewhere, get a permit, unless you're on private property. And even then you'd have to watch out because of open flames. And you could do the same thing. So when you see people that are being protesting the trans world, not necessarily the gay stuff, but the trans stuff, and they are tearing a flag up and they get arrested, if they're tearing it up, they are politically protected under the First Amendment. It's the flames themselves which are the deciding vote there. All right. So that's all we have for you now. You know, police that are out there that want to do the job and break up the party, you've got your information. Go look it up. It take you 10 minutes when you're in the middle of the shift. Say you're going to go to the clock and get a free lunch, maybe a little badge bunny ride, whatever. Take 5 minutes, get that because you're going to want it. Keeps you solid. Okay. So other than that, have a good morning and we'll talk to you later on.